Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. Well, this particular story I got for you has everything to do with our current economy and what is happening to our middle class and the so-called American dream that has turned into the American nightmare. And this particular story really encapsulates every city throughout our country, and it has to deal with big box retail stores and how major theft rings and shoplifting and looting, how that is decimating part of our current economy. And what is that going to do, and what is that doing to our CPI, our consumer price index, the cost of goods, the cost of inflation due to all this theft, shoplifting, etc. And also remember, President Trump is also cutting people off of Medicaid, and he's cutting people's food stamp benefits, which may preclude to individuals shoplifting and stealing even more. When people are desperate, they do desperate things. But our economy, our current economy, and this issue with tariffs, so President Trump is cutting Medicaid, he's cutting food stamp benefits, he's increased the tariffs. All of that is putting a harbinger on our economy, and who suffers the most? Our lower income and our middle class, where the whole panacea of this American dream is supposed to exist, and in reality, it is a fallacy. And you have some of these liberal laws in many of our states, like the state of Illinois. You have the SAFE-T Act, where if you commit a minor crime, you can get arrested, go to jail, get out under your own recognizance that same day, and then go commit another crime. New York and LA has the cashless bail system, and they have reports of arresting the same person 4 or 5 times in one day. In the state of California, you can steal up to $950 a day and not be detained in jail. So places like San Francisco, Oakland, California, LA County have been decimated with crimes. Downtown Chicago, the Magnificent Mile, has a 50% commercial vacancy rate due to shoplifting, carjackings, looting, all kinds of crimes that are taking place, which is causing a lot of chaos and disruption throughout our cities. But I got a big one for you that's out of New York, up on the East Coast, that's in relation to Home Depot. But before I go even further with Home Depot, Walmart is getting rid of the self-checkout lines because of the large amount of theft, shoplifting that is taking place at your Walmarts. I just did a story on a Georgia assistant principal who got caught over a 1-month period of stealing over $1,000 worth of goods from a Walmart in Georgia, and now she's going to lose her job as a result. So Walmart, your big box stores, Walmart is having issues like crazy. Walgreens here in the St. Louis area has damn near closed every Walgreens in the city. I think there's one Walgreens left in the city of St. Louis, and the majority of it is due to shoplifting and theft. And you're seeing that even in Chicago, where Walgreens is not coming into the city anymore. They are closing their stores. They did that in Oakland, California, and in San Francisco. So not only are your big box stores like Walmart, Target, Home Depot, etc., that are being decimated by shoplifting and looting and crimes of that nature, but don't forget Amazon, the big behemoth, is killing the brick and mortar stores also, and the malls, because now you can push a button and get everything sent to your home. So there is a heavy strain on some of our Fortune 500 publicly traded companies that are suffering internally and externally. And again, now you have President Donald Trump with these tariffs, which are making it even more, or making it even less cost efficient for some of these consumer goods that are placing a heavier burden on our middle class people to put food on the table and clothes on our backs. So this theft stuff, these people stealing, who does it hurt the most? It hurts corporate America, the big box store, and then it hurts the consumer. Well, listen to this one that took place. You're talking about a large scale theft ring where 13 people have been indicted for allegedly stealing millions of dollars in goods from Home Depot stores in 9 states. And before I get into that story, I want to also mention to you about the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, and what is that? And this has everything to do with theft, tariffs, and the whole nine. The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, it measures the average change over time in the prices urban consumers pay for a fixed benefit or basket of goods and services, serving as a key indicator of inflation and the cost of living, calculated by tracking price changes in categories like food, housing, transportation. Housing and transportation can fall under Home Depot, and healthcare, and used for economic policy, wage adjustments, and Social Security. So all of this that I'm talking about today has everything to do with Wall Street, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and in a smaller nomenclature, it would be the price of these goods and how does it affect the everyday household and consumer to put food on the table and clothes on one's back. So back to this story about these 13 people indicted. It says, they said authorities conducted a major crackdown on an organized retail crime that crossed multiple state lines. Earlier this week, New York officials announced the bust of a highly coordinated theft ring that targeted more than 100 Home Depot stores. Some instances involved thieves who would break into a locked cage to steal power tools. Others would conceal stolen goods in a garbage bin before it was rolled out of the store. I mean, just egregious, just dumping stuff in a bin and just walking right out the door. That's been happening now for years. And part of this is part of the problem is people are suffering. And then many of these states have these liberal laws where people are not afraid to get arrested because they know they're going to get out that same day. This was part of a large Queens-based criminal operation, the New York governor and local leaders announced. This crew was amazingly coordinated, disciplined, and meticulous and dedicated, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said. 13 people have been charged in a 780-count indictment for stealing and fencing more than $2 million worth of goods from Home Depot stores in New York and 8 other states. The suspects face grand larceny, conspiracy, and criminal possession of stolen property charges. Police seized tools, building supplies, and home goods, but it's just a fraction of what authorities said was stolen between August 2024 and September of last year. In 1 year, they stole over $2 million worth of stuff. According to the indictment, Armando Diaz would decide on which items to be stolen by the Home Depots by checking their in-store inventory online. So this is what they did. According to the indictment, this Armando Diaz, who was one of the ringleaders, would decide on which items would be stolen at the Home Depots by checking their in-store inventory online, sometimes going to the same Home Depot 4 times in one day to shoplift and later sell the stolen goods for profit. Governor Kathy Hochul said the takedown is thanks in part to stronger larceny laws that allowed investigators to combine incidents, turning cases from misdemeanors into felonies. And remember, I told you in the state of New York and the city of New York, they had this cashless bail system where people were stealing like crazy. Here we go with these liberal democratic laws that you see in Chicago, across the state of Illinois, across the state of California, across the state of New York, and they're being decimated with high levels of shoplifting, crimes, assaults, looting, carjackings, etc. She said, since we changed the laws and put money behind this effort, retail theft crimes are down 14% in the city and across the state of New York. Home Depot said for years this prolific organized retail crime resulted in multi-million-dollar losses for the company. 11 of the suspects faced a judge a few weeks ago, and the judge said, you commit these crimes, we're coming after you, was what the governors of New York said. Police said they are still searching for one of the defendants who remains at large. This is happening all over the place. I'm bringing it up, and you might not think this is important to you, but if you're seeing that these stores are closing, especially in the inner city and the urban market, your Walgreens, some of your grocery stores that are leaving the city, that's going to create a desert island for where you live. So if you don't have a place where you can get your prescription drugs, where you can go to the local grocery store, that will have a deleterious effect on you and your family moving forward and in the future. We're on shaky grounds right now with our economy and with this president and these tariffs. And also we need to educate ourselves on what's going on with the economy. Look up what the CPI is, a consumer price index. Which I said it measures the average change over time in the prices urban consumers pay for a fixed basket of goods and services, serving as a key indicator of inflation. And so, are we headed in that direction? Some of our economic experts think that we are. Are we teetering on that? You got to remember that President Donald Trump does not like the Federal Reserve chairman, is trying to get rid of him because of interest rates, and they're having a big fight. So all of this is very important from the top to the bottom, from the President of the United States in Washington, D.C., to what's happening in your household, on your kitchen table, and in your closet. These are all very important things that we need to look at as American citizens.